Okay, so we got a storm coming today and tomorrow. So they laid out the mineral streets. They started laying them out this afternoon. Probably around 10 or 11 this morning, actually, slowly, and then they cranked them up, and then we were seeing a couple hundred per hour, laying out the trails, which then turn into clouds. But that's not what I'm here to do this video on. Here, this is actually want to get over to the moon part of this video. And one of the things, here goes a trail jet too. No trail coming out of it. See, isn't that strange, huh? So no trail coming out of that jet. I don't think that's a trail jet either. It's not big enough, and it don't have a white belly. But anyways, it's always nice to see a jet go by at the same altitude as some of the other ones. And then because people always say that they're ice crystals, they're water crystals and all that bullshit story. But anyways, that's not what I'm here about today anyway. I've been waiting for a particular moon to come out where the top of the moon is lit. Prove to you that the heliocentric model is a big fucking lie, and so you can get off the ball, and you don't have to argue with anybody about it. You just go see it for yourself. Whatever they taught you in school, don't worry about it. Anyways, the moon is going to be coming out right here. Hopefully some of this is going to clear, and we're going to see the moon coming out right over here somewhere. Now, right over here is actually at probably my 9 o'clock, probably my 9 o'clock position, because right over here, well, let me back up, because right here is my solar noon, which will be my lunar noon, okay, and then the sun, as you see, is over in the 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock position. It's not even at a 3 o'clock position yet. That's the sun heading to the west, okay? So what I want to point out, though, and happens all the time, and there's many things to talk about. I'll talk about them later. Hopefully I'll even be able to get this, and it does look like it is clearing up a little bit, so we're going to start seeing the moon over here. What I want you to pay attention to is that the top of the moon is lit. The moon has its own light, its own separate light. It's not light from the sun bouncing off the moon. That would be ridiculous. You don't realize how mentally ingenious we all are for believing this nonsense all these years, and these are just some simple ways to prove it so you don't have to argue with anybody anymore. So I want to tell you the arguments. All right, the moon used to be in our night sky more than it was in our day sky. We've been changing things up. We've been changing things. I'll try to explain further later, but you got to go see things for yourself a little bit, whoever's watching these videos. Now, this is particularly for Candace and Pastor Brooks, but anybody else that comes to them, I hope other people will start looking on their own as well. Point is, the top of the moon is lit. Now, that would be normal in a night sky. We were told under the heliocentric model that the reason why the top is lit is because the sun is on one side of the earth and the moon is on the other side, and the reason why the top is lit is because the sun's rays are coming over the earth, okay? But now in the last 25-30 years, we've had more and more daytime moons. Very serious implication for the moon not being still in our night sky. I try to go back to when I was a kid and but you can't rely on anything because we were lied to, and I wasn't paying attention when I was a kid. So what the fuck am I going to do? I'm trying to think back. I don't ever remember seeing a daytime moon growing up. Not until I was in my 20s did I start seeing daytime moons. And then by the time I hit my 30s, I was actually paying attention to what the hell was going on. And then it was too hard to look back, and you got to argue with everybody about everything and shit. So it's not worth it. What we can see today, what I can see since my beginning of my awakening, that we were lied to about the heliocentric model. Now think about this. Hopefully it'll come out before this video ends. If not, I'll come back out and get it for sure. But anyways, you got to think about it. The moon right here in your daytime sky is going to be the top half of the moon is going to be lit. Now, that makes no fucking sense at all during a daytime moon. Any of the daytime moons, but particularly this time of day. Because if the moon is here and your sun is here, then why would the top of the half of the moon be lit up, right? And what they tell you is there is a heliocentric answer for this. It makes absolutely no sense as well. What they're going to tell you is when you bring this up and say, yeah, this dude's on YouTube's fucking nuts. What's happening is the sun's rays are going up and beaming off of the outside of our atmosphere and bouncing back on the moon. Saying nothing about the rays that are coming from here over to here, and why is the whole moon not lit up then? Why are we not seeing a full moon if that was the case? Seeing that your moon is going to be right here in your, like I said, where's position is that? Yeah, I'd say 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock still, because 10 is going to be about here, and I know it's still behind this whole thick area of mineral streets that they're laying out right now all over the place, but you know, right there. You see the mineral streets, they're all over the fucking place. We're fucking flying by us, hundreds of them by the hour. Nobody pays attention. Nobody sees shit. Fucking neighbors think I'm fucking nuts because I'm looking at the sky all the time. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so I'm going to just leave my camera here, and I'm going to hope that this opens up and they don't come trailing it again. It looks like things are moving this way, so it's probably going to open up right here. But if not, no big deal. I got some footage of the mineral streets at least anyways. It won't be a total waste of my time, and I'm sure that it will clear enough for me to get a quick thing of the moon, a quick picture, footage, image, whatever, of the moon in this that I'm talking about. Now this is quite frequent, by the way. This is quite frequent to have the top of the moon lit up during the day. During it, nobody talks about it. Even it's ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, I'm gonna put this down, and I gotta go stir my shit. I'm doing some cooking, so I'm just gonna do this while I'm doing my thing. Let's see, where was it? Right about there somewhere. So I was gonna say, right here. I think I'm gonna put a filter on too, just because. Matter of fact, I should show you the filters too. I've done other videos on my filters. Very inexpensive, very easy. I buy these cheap Vivitar filters, and I put them on paper chip clip holders, and that's about it. I got reds, greens, cheap plastic. Glass would work much better. I always mention that. I do have some other, again, very inexpensive crap that I use, and then two of my favorites that I like using are sunglasses. That I cut up sunglasses. Yeah, I think we're gonna get to see this moon. So that's it for that. And one day I'll show you my telescope setup as we get into the moon part of this. With this filter, so I'm putting this filter on. These are sunglasses lenses. Sunglass lenses, lens, whatever. Alright, so I think we're gonna be somewhere around here, and I'll come back out and check you in a few minutes. What the fuck? Oh, this shit was fucking big. Did this thing even start? Yeah. Yeah, it's going. Alright. So yeah, it's gonna be right here somewhere. Let me try to line you up. Alright, good enough for now. figure I'd take a look at some of the mineral streets while I'm out here. Digital collection of electromagnetic nanocarbon from what you call clouds. What I'm telling you are actually mineral streets. And I'll go back in on them later and draw the imagery out for you. We're gonna. There she is. There she is. So she's coming out right here. Good. I'm glad. Where the fuck is my finger? On the shade. She's right here somewhere. I can't see my finger because there's glare in the camera. So you see how the whole entire top, that's even more rare than even usual, because sometimes it'll be kicked over to the right a little bit. Today, that one's not even kicked over to the right a little bit. I might have to put the other scope on. Perfect. Perfect. You have to get this through your head, people. Go out and look for yourselves. Don't believe these fucking liars, man. They're all liars, man. And I have to come up with new terminology for everything because everything's been taken away. It's unbelievable. I can't, you can't say liars anymore. You can't say fake. Trump fucked up the word fake, so you can't use that anymore. You can't use the word woman. You can't use the word, we used to be able to call transmissions in our cars trannies, and we can't call transmission in our car trannies anymore because people have mistaken the word tranny, and you're not allowed to use it. I'm not allowed to use the word black. I'm not allowed to use the word black woman in a row together as word. I mean, it's fucked up. So how the hell are you supposed to talk to each other, about anything? About anything. It's fucked up. And I'm swearing a little bit today, but this is still, Candace and Pastor Brooks series, so I'm going to try not to swear, but I'm going to back up over here. I won't be able to see the screen again, but that's okay because I want to get this through to you so you understand, and you can go out and do the same exact thing, and then you'll see it for yourself, and you'll know for yourself. Okay, so where my finger? Shit, I got to be able to see the screen. Guess I could sit in the shade. Anyways, where the hell's the top of this fucking thing? So I know that I'm on it. Right there. There's still some clouds in front of it, but it's gonna clear in the blue sky in a second. So, that's there, and then there's the sun. So the sun is now at my 12, probably 3, right? Yeah, no, it's probably still at my 2:30 position. So between 2 and 3 position, the sun is. So how the hell is the sun? I'm gonna slowly come over this way, right? And I come back over here to the moon. I find it again. There it is. Okay, it's behind some thick clouds now, but just give it a minute. It's coming out. It's right here somewhere. I can zoom in on it in a minute. There's some other thick white clouds coming in, and they're not clouds, they're mineral streets. Let's be honest with each other, you see all in here, the thickness of them. Some cool images, and again, all the imagery is not any governments. The imagery is from the creator. The true creator and the false creator are responsible for anything that we're going to be seeing. It's not to put all any blame, for that matter, of what's going on. This is all human construct and human influence that have lied to us. We have the right to go look for ourselves and know the truth about things for ourselves. Yeah, the moon's right there. I'm aiming at it, but I don't think I'm going to get it. And we're going to get all whited out right now in another minute. So I'll have to zoom in on it later for you on another video. But again, top of the moon, all lit up. And your 9 o'clock daytime moon to your sun in your 2 o'clock position. It does not happen. That moon should be a full moon if it was the light from the sun that was lighting it. You understand? Right, there she is. There she is again right there. I'll get a little bit of her just so I can make this point. Maybe I'll hook up the Nah, I don't have a tripod with me or anything either, so I'm not gonna bother trying to hook up the telescope or anything like that. Fuck it. I just wanted to make this quick video. It's be a 10-minute video just to describe this, and then we'll talk about it more when I do the other videos. I think it's right there. Yeah, I'm centered on it right there, right? Yep. Now, normally they would have trailed me in, but I just happened to be coming in the house with the kids, and I happened to see it, and I said, all right, let's see what they do. And then I seen a couple of spots peeking through, and I said, yeah, maybe I'll get lucky. Let's throw the camera on and see. But you can, as you can see, as I go up, I'm not going to be very lucky for the rest of the day. This was my 10-minute window to get you this video and do this for you to explain this. Now you can see this all the time for yourselves. It's too often, as a matter of fact. That's why I'm going to have to explain some things more detail as this series goes forward. I will do that because it's really a very big deal that the moon is this far in our daytime sky. There are a lot of other things about the moon as well that you can look at, just observe our own observations that'll prove to you that we're not living in a heliocentric or a geocentric. Neither one of those models are real. And we can easily prove this for ourselves. We don't need anybody to see this, but 7.8 billion people, for some reason, all think that this is acceptable to believe in these idiots, and you don't argue with them. As you see, I'm not arguing with any of you, right? I don't argue with anybody. Fuck you guys. If you guys don't want to go look for yourselves, what am I going to debate and argue and waste time? We don't have time. We don't have any time. And when I tell you that we're almost out of time, I'm not kidding. I'll explain it to you what I mean. We're going to be losing communication, and because nobody knows how to use the energy, we're going to lose communication. And when we do lose that communication, there are several things that are going to happen during that time, and it ain't going to be fucking good. So again, moon right there, top of the moon lit, sun right there. Should not be lighting only the top of the moon if the sun's right there. They're going to tell you some bullshit story, and you'll accept it, and they'll say, yeah, it's because the sun's bouncing off the outside atmosphere and lighting up them. They're so full of shit. There's better ways to tell that they're full of shit too. Like, for example, the moon's light is colder than the shadows. So if you take your camera out at night and you got to use the full moon. The full moon's the best one to use. And what you'll notice is if you go down on the ground like this and you go behind something where there's a shadow, just make sure that you don't have any ground warmth or anything like that going. It's gone now anyway, but you make sure you don't have any reason, like for example, there's a septic system under here, so the ground would be warmer in this area. So I know the areas of where I can go. Make sure you're getting an honest thing, and then take a thermometer, one of those good ones, and one that can get pretty close on the temperature. For example, something that can be fine-tuned. The cheap $30 ones are not as good, obviously, as the $200-300 thermometers, those laser thermometers. And then what you do is you aim it where the moonlight is, and then you aim it in a shadow somewhere. This bucket would provide a shadow, or a tree would provide a shadow. And then what you do is you go from the moonlight to the shadow, making sure there's no ground reasonings, make sure there's not a dryer vent coming out, stupid shit that would change temperature, make sure it's not happening. But what'll happen is the moonlight will be colder than the shadow. So in other words, the light coming from the moon is colder than the darkness. Pretty amazing. And it's not a lot. So the most I've got is 0.7 degrees, I think, something like that one time. So not even a whole degree difference, but that's okay. It still tells a story. And there's a lot of different things you can do like that for yourselves so that you understand what the hell's going on. another big one that you should watch out for. The moon will stay in the sky from early morning, right? You'll catch it at 6, 7 o'clock or something like that. And then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 in the afternoon, it's like right here somewhere, right? And then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, you follow it through and you're like, wait a minute, this moon's going a lot slower than 2,200 miles an hour if we're supposedly spinning at 1,100. And the moon's going past us 2,200, which means it would be around, you do the math, 1,000, a little over 1,000 miles an hour, that it should still be going past us. It doesn't. And then by the time, also the next morning, you get up the next morning, I follow it all night long, and then the next morning, it'll be over here, like in a 1 or 2 o'clock position. And then follow it all day long again. So the moon's in the daytime sky, the nighttime sky, and the daytime sky, all without ever leaving my sight, all the way through. And you think there's 7.8 billion people on this earth with me, and none of them look? They all just fucking whatever Fox News says they go with? It's cracking crazy, man. So there's the moon again. I might get it a little bit more. Yeah, it's right there, but they're going to cloud me out. That's okay. Good enough. I just wanted to do that. I'll be back.